Are you ready to challenge F1? If so, you're in luck. This is F1 Challenge, a 1995 release for the Sega Saturn. Cue the awesome mid-90s Sega action montage. For those of you who enjoy your mid-90s Sega arcade-style racing games like Daytona USA, Virtua Racing, and Sega Rally, here's a super cool Sega sports offering for the terribly underrated Sega Saturn. Based on the 1995 F1 season, we get a few real-life drivers and their cars, as well as 3 officially licensed F1 tracks, and 1 rad-tastic Sega fictional track broken into 3 different lengths. But they should have called it Neo Tokyo, which would have implied that you'd be driving motorcycles hitting clowns on the head with pipes. It's a good thing they build those cars tough. I put them through a lot of abuse in this game and haven't destroyed any of them. On the surface, F1 Challenge looks a lot like Sega's excellent Virtua Racing on the Sega Saturn, but it has a lot more depth, especially when it comes to car customization, because before each race, you can adjust your racing wings, your tires, and even the amount of fuel that you put into your car. All of those variables make a huge difference in how your car performs from race to race. For example, if you run the super soft tires, you'll have to pit every 3 laps or so and your life will suck, so you're always better off running with the harder tires. And avoiding pit stops altogether, because that's how you win in this game. The rest of the F1 drivers are a bunch of pussies, and always stop to change their tires and possibly grab a bottled water. Well, screw them. You're better than that, and refuse to acknowledge that pit stops even exist. Let's watch what happens when I stop to change tires. I'm going to lose, because I'm a coward. Did Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble use soft racing tires on their cars? No, they used boulders. And they had hot wives, and were winners until eaten by dinosaurs. Here's an example of a race where I'm running Flintstone style with hard tires that have barely any traction at all by the end of the race. But I'm still going to win, because the rest of the F1 drivers obviously want to be NASCAR pit bunnies, and have repeatedly stopped to change their tires. Moving beyond that, for a mid-90s Sega racing game on the Saturn, F1 Challenge plays extremely well. It's relatively fast and fluid, and even by today's standards, it's actually easy to control the car. Obviously, the music in this game is full of mid-90s Sega awesomeness, and as I'm recording this in 2012, I find F1 Challenge to be a lot of fun to play. It's really quite impressive for an early release on the Saturn. Your motivation to win is not just fame, power, glory, and buckets of gold, but the music that you'll hear when you win. Power rockin' motivational music for the win! F1 Challenge! What a great buy for the Sega Saturn. These days you can find this game for less than a cup of warm water, and it's far more enjoyable, although less hydrating. According to the packaging, this plays with the Sega Saturn racing wheel, which I don't have yet. I can't believe I don't have one of those. It does play well enough with the Saturn gamepad, although you'll obviously have quite a bit of oversteer. A big Classic Game Room thank you and shout out to our homeboy Sergio Matthias from Polinia, Brazil for donating this game to the show and opening my eyes to the glory of F1 racing on the Sega Saturn with F1 Challenge. NASCAR Pit Bunnies. Is that even a real thing or did I just make it up? Game over! Yeah! Maybe.